All right, welcome to Bundesliga Chat Time with We Are Soccer. Today, we've got Nate, as usual, here, and we're going to talk some Bundesliga. Cheers, Nate.
Prost!
All right, so what's on tap first, my friends? What do we got?
Well, I think first and foremost, we can start out with that Bayern Munich versus Augsburg game and get right into the games there. As far as importance in league standings, that game wasn't anything there. Munich's already won it. But as far as importance of historic value, I think we could not deny that was probably one of the most historic games to happen in quite some time.
I believe you're talking about one Robert Lewandoski scoring his 41st goal in league play for the year, which, for those of you that don't know, is a very big deal. It's he broke the record, and 41 is a huge tally to have for a league.
He now owns the record all by himself from Müller. With 41, scoring it in the 90th minute. Almost not getting it, even though in spite of having 10 shots on goal, 5 on target, the 6 actually going in, 4 off target, and I believe most of them came in from inside the 18 itself. So
I was stunned. I was checking the game, and at one point it was 4-0. Bayern Munich, and Lewandowski didn't have a single goal out of the 4. I was absolutely stunned. It looked like his teammates were looking for him. He was pressing a little bit too hard, but he did finally get it in the 90th minute there, and has that record by himself. 41 goals. Just unbelievable.
And not even technically in a full season because he missed some games.
I believe he only played 28 games. Just 41 goals in 28 games. And now you're going to get people to say, it's the Bundesliga, it's not this league. I don't care what league it is. You're scoring 41 goals in 28 games. That's a hell of a performance. And the man is an absolute stud.
And as I noted, there was other strikers in between Gert Muller and Lewandoski, so it's not like it went from one to the other. So it's a hard feat to accomplish.
That record stood for 50 years, and has finally been broken. So congratulations, Lewandoski.
But there is some more historic value.
All right, what is that? What other historical value did that game present to us?
Last game for one Hansi Flick, a coach who came in and actually, I was going to make some jokes, pulling Bayern Munich up and making a winner out of someone. But in reality, though, he did save Munich's season last year, which wasn't going that great until he took over.
And he won almost everything in sight, right?
No, he won everything in sight.
Yeah, it was incredible the winning he brought to that club, and yes, he had a lot of money, and they are the biggest and best club in Germany. I get it. But it still takes a manager to bring all that together and put it into place and to win like he did. And for those of you that don't know, he has officially signed on to be the German national team coach at the end of the Euros. So Jurgi Loh still has control of the team for the Euros coming up this summer, starting June 11th. But as soon as that tournament is done, he will be leaving the post, and Hansi Flick will be taking over.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good appointment. I think. The German FA there have done a real good job getting one of the best coaches in place.
Well, helps when that guy wants the job too, because he wanted that job. He wanted to go. I think he was done. And
what if he was just bored? I've won everything. What else is there to do? Let's move on and try to win a World Cup.
Combine that with the management at Munich and how difficult it is to work with them. I think he just said this is the next step for me, so this is my opportunity. If I don't jump on it now, then when will I jump on it? So
there were those rumors that Hansi Flick and the Bayern Munich board were not getting along. A little bit of discord there, but either way, he leaves Bayern Munich, and this is the last game. There was also some other last games for some of the players there, right?
As with every closing of the season, every turning of the chapter, you have some players moving on and retiring, and for Munich, you had basically 3 staples all at once leaving the field, saying goodbye to their to the last game. How you could see even hugging Flick in tears for how much it meant. So Boateng Hernandez and Alba basically all played their last game. David Alba with basically 430 games, 27 trophies, tied second to Mueller for how many trophies.
That's incredible. That if you think about that, is incredible. That's an incredible amount of games and trophies. Yeah.
He's moving on to Madrid, left on actually a free transfer. You know, so here's the Alba, the second best Alba in the world, kind of. You know, next to Jessica.
I think he might be the best Alba in the world.
I don't know how well she plays.
This is true. She might be really good.
Prost to David Alba. Good luck in Madrid. To you. Anyways, on to Jerome Boateng, who joined in 2011. Played 362 games and had 25 trophies. He is now at the age of 32, basically not committed anywhere. You gotta imagine he's gonna go somewhere. Someone
will pick him up. Someone at a high level will pick him up. I mean, 32 years old isn't. He's past his prime, yes, but he could still do a good job for another 3 years for someone. Especially in the Bundesliga there, maybe in one of the other leagues. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of German coaches out there who could be looking for a solid player who's played in that level. You never know.
Costs you nothing on a transfer fee.
What do you got? What do you got to lose, right?
What do you got to lose? So
cheers.
Here to you, Jerome.
Cheers.
Thank you for the memories and the colorful hair. We're going to be drunk before this is over.
Yep.
Javi Martinez joined 2012. 267 matches played, trophies 24, 32 as well, not committed to anywhere, kind of hits the free transfer market. Yeah. They're saying that he could go somewhere for under 10 million. So again, I think this is one of those players where, you know, why not? If you're a club and you need an extra center back.
There are a lot of clubs in the world right now who need an extra center back. They are hard to find. Center backs who have good experience, know what they're doing. It's hard to find, trust me. So he'll get picked up pretty quick, I have no doubt, especially with where he's coming from.
Oh, yeah. Javier, Prost.
Cheers.
They're all watching, too. They're weeping.
Absolutely.
All right. On to Dortmund versus Leverkusen. Again, table-wise, they went from 4th to 3rd.
Right.
So it was good for them because at a point, they weren't going to, you know. So they really had their season save. Haaland with a pair of goals.
Yep, brace. Yep.
Looking good again. And then another, you know, staple of Dortmund, another player playing his last game, Lucas Piszczek, who has 433 games, been there since 2010. So Piszczek, this is not an excuse to drink. We're both very weepy-eyed. Craig, see, very teary.
Yes.
Me, very teary. Piszczek, you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Congratulations.
But all these guys, I mean, they had guard honors and before the game, after a game.
The Germans do know how to do it right, and they do make sure that they celebrate the players and the teams that win. And
if you played a significant amount of your career at that club, and that's the importance there. So. Moving on, we had another historic kind of history game in the making, Hoffenheim versus Hertha. Kremmerich, 20th goal this season, is now leading goal scorer for Hoffenheim and actually put in several great goals. I find it hard to believe that he stays at Hoffenheim. We'll see how that goes. On the other end, again, with every melting of the snow, turning of the page, football world says bye to a Stuttgart legend. A Madrid legend, a Juventus legend, a German national team legend, a Sami Khedira. Most of you were probably like, I haven't heard that name in years, but he's been finishing his career out basically in Hertha Berlin. He played his last match there. Talking about a guy who won 17 cups with 3 different teams.
It's a hell of a career, by the way. Sami Khedira is a hell of a player, and if I'm sure a lot of you remember, but if you don't, he was a staple in the center mid for a lot of big teams, and won the World Cup 2014 with Germany, and just
fun fact.
Come on, bring it. All right, yep.
Do you know what youth team Sami Khedira played for before going to the senior team?
I can bet it starts with an S and ends with a Stuttgart.
Stuttgart. Yeah. Actually, native Stuttgart.
Yeah, good
so
for him.
Well, OG. Sami Khedira.
Cheers. Congratulations.
Thanks for the memories.
Great career. Yep.
Thanks for getting Stuttgart that trophy. Okay, getting hot and heavy. Moving on, Mainz versus Wolfsburg with a 3-2 win against Wolfsburg. So kind of now we have Wolfsburg first place Munich, second place Leipzig.
Yep.
Dortmund's got the third. Wolfsburg drops to fourth. Mainz with the win because they're sober, I guess, now and decided to play. But on the same end, I mean, that Mainz team. This second half of the season, their record has been incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. They really outdid themselves at the second half of the season. Incredible record. Good for them.
Yeah.
Well, and again, they were safe a couple of weeks back and really partied it up.
And with the teams they beat on the way, outside of the slip up, against Dortmund, but still. After they found out they got promoted. But the teams they beat on the way and the record they had this second half, I think they're going to be really good next year.
They could be,
really good.
Hopefully they fill some needs that they have there, and they could be.
There's some center backs on the market. That
Exactly. I mean, even if those center backs go there and don't play, it's experience, and it teaches the younger kids how to be a professional, how to play the game in the right way. So, good mention there.
Union Berlin versus Leipzig. The game that broke every Stuttgart fan's heart before the Bremen Gladbach fiasco. But that almost doesn't matter, and even though Stuttgart lost, doesn't matter.
I would say Stuttgart lost it themselves, just so we're aware of that. Just for the folks who are tuning in here.
They knew that there was no chance. They had the TV on or something.
One of us, not me, thought that Stuttgart had a chance to get into Europe. If everything went their way, Stuttgart had to win. They had to get results to go their way. Stuttgart didn't even win, so the other results didn't really matter. Just let you know. 2-0 you lost as well.
Yeah.
Not even close.
We'll get to that. Thanks for just
onwards.
Lemons and a wound. But Nagelsmann ruined it for us, so he's really the one at fault. But back to Union Berlin with the 2-1 versus Leipzig. Leipzig scored first. This was a very interesting game because Leipzig did jump out. They had like 62% possession, 14 shots, 8 on net on target. The Union keeper had 7 saves, 4 diving, 5 inside, basically the 18, and was spinning on his head, keeping these guys alive. Union had about 1,000 fans in the stadium, supporters actually, cheering them on. They were going crazy. They ended up coming back, scoring 2 goals, and sealing their place in the Europa Champions League, Championship Playoff League, which, okay, I get it. We're going to take a pause here for that. If you're a bigger team, if you're like, Berlin, or not Berlin, Munich, Leipzig, Arsenal, Tottenham, that's kind of not that great for you.
You don't want to be in the qualifying Europa, whatever it is.
But for a team like Berlin, which basically is, a club that was been in League 2 from 2009 to 2019 when they got promoted by beating Stuttgart in the relegation battle, knocking Stuttgart down to League 2. But again, just proves my theory that all things go through Stuttgart.
Good and bad. Yep.
Good and bad.
Understood.
So that was their first. This is their first stint in League 1 in 2019. They managed to stay afloat, and now they're actually playing European football.
Yeah, to get to that position from where they were a couple of years ago is actually a really big deal, and it shows the growth of the club. So, I mean, good for them. Yeah, congratulations, and I hope they do well in that league. It's
a massive accomplishment for a club like them and being in the league there. And we're going to get into, when we start talking relegation in a few minutes, the percentage of teams within 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years that end up going down to League 2. It's dramatically high.
It is. And the same thing with the English Premier League, right? A lot of the teams that come up to the Premiership, I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, but a lot of them tumble back down a year or two later. These are tough leagues to get to, and it's even tougher to stay in them. So, but let's continue onwards.
So, onwards onto the relegation battle, and even though after the Union Leipzig There was no way Stuttgart could win it.
Right.
You still want to see him win. Unfortunately, Bielefeld had the hey, we're playing for our lives, and I say this a lot. Anytime someone's fighting for their life, you might not want to be on the other end of that.
You don't want to be playing them because you don't have anything to play for, really, and they did. Bielefeld went at it and got the job done.
And you could tell. So, again, we're talking about the Bundesliga. Again, I understand the criticism of Munich, this and that. I heard a one prominent former national team player, prominent announcer with the red hair, Alexei Lawless, talk about how the Bundesliga, it's a one-cart team and there really isn't anything there. I'm telling you, the look on the Bielefeld players' faces when they secured their League One status, the coach zooming in, hands in head, crying, just weeping in the press conference, near tears, the players coming out, giving them the beer shower. These guys acted like they just won it all.
It's a big deal. It's an absolute big deal. And for someone like Lexi Lawless not to appreciate this league just because it has a very dominant club who do finish first quite often, there's a lot of other things that go into this league. Yeah, I mean, the relegation battle, the other spots that are up for grabs. That's a poor thing for Alexi to say, but
he said it long ago, and I get it. Maybe he doesn't follow the league, and that's fine.
Most likely, he does not.
But as someone who follows the league, as someone who's been with a team that scraped through relegation, that got relegated, that got promoted, it's massive. And these players, the interviews afterwards, you got to remember, no fans. In League One, no fans this whole year. The players going, we're excited that we're coming back because now Armenia, our fans, they can come into the stadium next year. They can be part of League One. They didn't get it this year. The pride, the happiness, the joy these guys had, the coach they had, it was, to them, is it a league win? Is it a trophy? No, but to them, it was that massive of a thing. So, on to Stuttgart, I mean, they didn't win. I think they're in good shape next year to really compete. They got several players signed on from 2023 to 2024, 25. They finished actually not in a bad spot. So we'll see what they can do next year.
See if they can progress forward and maybe make that Europa spot.
It would be nice. We'll see.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, something to build on, right?
And they got some young talent, some very good young talent. Juan Makatuga that hasn't been played, that they lost, who is 3 times Bundesliga Player of the Month. Who won the Rookie of the Season, who wasn't there this last month because of a horrific injury.
Yeah, he had some bad injuries to deal with.
Yeah, Mangala, some of these guys are all coming back. I mean, you have an issue with Oliver Crump, who a center back who was offered, a starting center back who's very good, who's offered a contract extension and turned it down. So chances are, I think he's going to be walking to somewhere else because even Stuttgart said, we gave him a good offer. We don't have much more we can give him. So they're probably going to sell him in the summer.
Yep, he wants out then.
Yeah. So,
but they'll come back next year, bigger, better, and stronger,
and win the league. And so on to Bremen versus Gladbach.
We'll gloss next on the West.
This was a shame for Bremen. I mean, Gladbach scored in the third minute. They went in the half 1-0, and then Gladbach just cracked them open. I mean, and after that, it was done. First time in 41 years that Bremen's being relegated. This is a problem for them. I mean, we're going to get into, there was, I went and did a count. There was 7 teams within the last 5 years that have been relegated into League Two that you never heard from again. Not including the teams that yo-yoed in and out.
That's a big problem. These teams, they get relegated and they lose a huge percentage of the money, the TV money, and they have to sell off the good players, and you might never hear from them again.
You have 80% less revenue.
80%. I mean, don't think of it like a club. Think of it like a company. If your company loses 80% of the revenue, there goes all your staff, right? You can't afford the training grounds properly. You can't afford anything really. 80% is a huge cut. And that's why, I'll give you a quick example, back in the early 2000s, Leeds in England were in the Premiership and they were doing really well. and then all of a sudden got relegated, and you didn't hear from them. They just came back, within the past year here. It took, a good 15, 16, 17 years, whatever it was, to get back into the Premiership. This is what happens when 80% of your revenue is cut. So we may never hear from Bremen again. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
We'll see. They got a stronger squad than, in my opinion, than the relegation really warranted for them. Obviously,
but they might not be able to hang on to half that squad.
Right. And the biggest player, one of the biggest rumors that are circulating around, especially because U.S. national team, is Josh Sargent. And quite frankly, if you're Sargent, no offense to the men's national team, for whatever reason, there's this stigmata if you're playing League Two anywhere, not even just the Bundesliga. You tend not to get a lot of call-ups.
I got a feeling the way he's played this past year, there'll be teams knocking on his door, saying we want you and how much does it cost? Hopefully for him.
Hopefully for him, because I think and when I say hopefully for him, because I think he has a better chance of getting called up with the men's national team if he's playing League One, and you don't see a lot of the League Two guys in England and in the Premier League. They kind of get, or in the Bundesliga, they kind of somehow get the overlook sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get to Julian Green here in a minute, but he's one that went to the wayside as soon as he went from playing a League One side to a League Two.
Yep.
And has struggled to get back in, and now that Firth is coming back in, now he's coming back in all of a sudden.
Now all of a sudden for the 40-man provisional camp, the training camp that's been called, he's been in there. Yeah, he's in there. So you're 100% correct on that one, Nate.
Yep. So last but not least, we have Cologne versus Shulk. 1-0 win for Cologne in the 86th minute. Cologne had 21 shots, 10 on target, 16 inside the box, 66%. They were throwing everything they could to try to make sure that they got into the relegation playoff game, and they lived to fight another day.
So let's quickly explain how the Bundesliga relegation and promotion works. So there's 18 teams in the Bundesliga. Teams who finish 17th and 18th get automatically relegated to Bundesliga 2. The team that finishes 16th in the Bundesliga goes into a playoff. Now you're asking, well, wait a minute, who do they play against? They play against the third-placed team from Bundesliga 2. So in Bundesliga 2, the teams that finish first and second get automatically promoted to the Bundesliga. The team that finishes in the third spot goes into the playoff. So Bundesliga 16th place team versus Bundesliga 2's third place team. And there's a home and away leg. The home leg, it starts off with the Bundesliga team, and that is tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
The first leg
so
tomorrow,
who's Cologne playing?
Kiel.
They're playing Kiel.
You might remember them from the Pokal. They were the ones who played Dortmund.
Yes.
They have played a lot of matches these last 2 months, so they are running on fumes.
I said, do you think that's going to wear on them?
And then it's going to wear on them big time.
With Cologne playing so well in this past game, getting themselves into the playoff, that probably bodes well. They played Saturday, and now they got to play Wednesday here.
And then they have
4
to
days
play
later
Saturday again.
And then they play Saturday. So, if I had to put money on it, I'd probably put money on the Bundesliga team, on Cologne.
I would too.
But
twice,
you never know.
They've played twice before. Once tying, once winning. Last time Cologne got relegated into League Two.
Interesting.
Outside of that, they haven't really played each other much because of the separation between the two teams between leagues.
So this is a very big game. This is a game where one team is fighting to get to the Bundesliga and to get 80% more money. Their money and the revenue just will increase crazy. And then Cologne, the team who could be relegated from the Bundesliga, will lose, as Nate said, 80% of their revenue next year. Yep. And from then on out, if they don't get back. So this is a huge game. Exciting. I'm going to be tuning in tomorrow at 12:30.
One to watch. The years in the past have always come out to be pretty exciting. A lot of time the League One teams win. Every now and then League Two just sneaks in, like you saw against Union versus Stuttgart that we covered before. it will be a solid match.
So it's not just a one and done. As I said, there's a home and away leg. So tomorrow's Wednesday is the first game. Saturday is the second game. Away goals do count for double. So the team, if at the end of 2 games it's tied, the team with the most away goals wins. And if that is tied after that on away goals, they play 2 15-minute overtime periods, and then it goes to penalty kicks. So lots of fun could ensue there. That's a true playoff right there. Mm-hmm. Lots of fun. So good luck to those teams.
Yep. And on another good luck, we have the newly promoted teams. Bochum of Fürth. 1848. Guess what year they were founded?
I have no idea. I am clueless.
1949, actually.
Seriously?
Yeah, formed in 1949.
What are they called?
So they come from a sports organization that's been around since 1848. But the actual soccer team it wasn't formed until 1949.
You fooled me there. So, I'm pretty sure you fooled everybody else.
There you go.
Oh,
they've their team that they won the league this year.
Okay.
League 2.
Yep.
They slingshotted back and forth between 1 and 2 for a bit. So we lost one derby, rural derby, with Shulk and Dortmund, right? However, this is the other team that actually has a side derby with Dortmund. So we kind of get that. We still gonna get the rural derby back with Dortmund and now Bochum, and that'll be great. And they've been basically out of League 1 for 11 years. So again, this is one of those teams where, as you were saying, you get in, you get out, you slingshot back and forth.
Yep.
You can't get back in. It's hard. They're back after 11 years. Good on them. And then we have Fürth, formed in 1903. They played basically the regional league up until 1974 when they got into League 2. Won promotion in 2012. So now they're back in after several years as well as being out. And the man, the myth, the legend, Stuttgart's finest, Julian Green.
Stuttgart's finest is Julian Green.
For a year.
For a year.
I bought his jersey. I'm wearing it now. Look, see?
You are, in fact.
Yeah, I am, in fact. So, there you go.
So, because he has
I got like the only one.
Yeah, they only sold one that year.
There's 2. One went to his family, one went to me.
I don't even know if his family bought one. No.
Oh, man.
He has played very well at Fürth this past year. So now, as we said earlier, he is in the 40-man U.S. men's national team training camp. Whether he will make the full squad is yet to be seen. He hasn't been in the national team scene for quite a few years because, as you'd said earlier, probably because he jumped down to Bundesliga 2. And for some reason, a lot of coaches in the world don't want to recognize second or third tiers of, in countries like the Bundesliga 2 or the EFL in England, which is a shame. But good to see him back. Whether he makes the squad is yet to be seen.
So and he had in 30 matches he had 9 goals and 2 assists this year. So he was as a midfield type player. So I think there's a spot for him in the national team. At least I hope so, because I think he is that good. And you don't get to see a lot of League 2 games, but the Düsseldorf game, their last game that they won, was on TV. Düsseldorf scored twice. Fürth came back. It was a really good game. The fans that weren't allowed in the stadiums lined up, right outside the stadium with flags and smoke, and it was a very, very, very interesting game, and fun game to watch. So, I think hopefully they'll do good coming in. Hopefully they won't be one of the 50% of the teams that get promoted get out in 2 years. So hopefully they won't be one. And hopefully Green, gets that second chance at the national team, or kind of like second and a half. And performs well. Fun fact about Fürth.
What's that?
Had nothing to do with Stuttgart. Former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger was born in Fürth, and actually is a club member.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. Where'd you dig that up from? The old internet?
Don't even ask.
All right, let's not ask. All right.
Someone right now is like, "That's not true."
Yeah. Well, if that is not true and you've looked it up, just keep that to yourself. Don't at us.
Don't pop my bubble.
Yeah, let's not go there. Anything else on SAP for today? Or
I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all.
This is it. This is the end of the Bundesliga. Not forever, though.
No, sir.
For months.
No, sir.
So
No, sir.
for now, I will be kicked out of the basement.
No, the Bundesliga has officially ended this past week as we just did the roundup, and it won't start back until August or September there. But we do have the Euros on tap, and we do have a lot of players from the Bundesliga playing. Plus, don't forget about transfers and the rumors and the coaching changes and all the new things that happen through the summer.
So rich in drama.
There will be more Bundesliga chat times for you folks. Don't you? We're not going to let him get away that easy.
Hey, what else am I doing?
Yeah, I say, what else are we going to be doing, right? Well, I think that wraps it up for another edition of Bundesliga Chat Time with We Are Soccer. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We'll have more of these. And
My boot's empty.
And
Too
cheers.
Many, too many prost.
Cheers to your empty boot.
Prost.
Cheers.
See you next season. Or later.